What started as a long, drawn-out standoff with the glitchy Timberwolves of Bleak Inlet became a dead Timberwolf and fresh meat right here, in fact. In the final minutes of our last episode, now we can finally get down to the bottom of Bleak Inlet before we make our way back to the Muskeg. Hello, Legion, this is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more of the Long Dark in our Against All Odds series, where I finally had a bit of a break after what felt like 20-25 minutes of struggle during that last episode. I'm going to just go ahead and pass time on this wolf meat. I'm going to chow down, and I'm going to feel much better about life. Let me keep this stick going to the degree that I can. I would honestly like to cook a little bit more. Oh, I've got this bench here. Very nice. Yeah, you know what? This is going to take 44 more minutes. I can break down this bench in 20. Let's go ahead and break it down, and then I'm going to add both of those pieces to the fire, because it's going to take a second, unfortunately, to get wood off the fire. But I want to cook a little bit more meat before we get downstairs. Or before we... Yeah, actually, before we get downstairs. That is where I'm going, because we want to get down to the bottom. Yes, I want to get down these stairs as well, but it is time to get to the bottom of Bleak Inlet, which the game's been teasing me for a bit. So it's nice to feel like things are moving in a good direction finally. My health is almost all the way back up. My clothing, believe it or not, didn't even take that much of a beating in the past little while. I need to get back up before I aggro more Timberwolves with this meat. Get inside. Wouldn't that suck? Like, aggroing more Timberwolves because I was chopping up the first one that I successfully killed right as I'm talking about how things have gotten better. But I do have more health than I did a moment ago, which is quite nice. I'm about to have more food. I will probably use this fire to make more water if I can. I actually, I'm kind of doubtful I'm going to be able to make much, but I think that'll be a useful way to spend my time. I've had a few people point out that I am carrying the water purification tablets around and I barely use them and they're heavy, but I would counterpoint, like, I have 33 pounds of carrying bonus. Like, I can afford to carry them around. It's fine. I don't need to micromanage my inventory that much. And I certainly don't need audience members to micromanage my inventory that much. It'll be okay. So I'm going to hang on to those in the off chance that there's a situation where, like, for example, I could use them right now, in fact. Like, I could use the remainder of time on this fire after I cook these pieces of meat to make unsafe water and then use the water purification tablets at that point. But they're also good to have in emergencies. So that's why I don't drop them. Every now and then, they do come in handy in situations like this. They come in handy when, like, you want to cut the time in half that will be required to make a certain amount of water so that, in fact, you can make perhaps more water with the fire that you have left. All right. There are some books here that I can grab. And if I pick those up, hang on, I'm just looking for any other things that can burn in here. Yep, books. Lots of books, in fact. Oh, wow. Tons of books. Perfect. Okay, so that might not even be necessary because those books are going to burn for a long time. Yep. We're good. Matter of fact, that's going to put us in such good condition that I'm going to head back downstairs real quick. How much time is left on this? 14 minutes? Cool. I'm going to grab some more meat off of our friend, which we killed in a rather cheap way. Okay, so yep, that is going to take exactly 14 minutes to get the rest of the meat off of him. And again, as soon as I get it, I'm going to, like, sprint. Okay, so that's cooked. Let's go ahead and eat it. And now I can cook the rest of this wolf meat relatively easily with the amount of fuel I have left, and then I'll be able to sleep for a decent amount, and I think I'll make it down to not Timberwolf, I was about to say Timberwolf Mountain, but to the bottom of Bleak Inlet. I mean, it kind of feels like Timberwolf Mountain, doesn't it? Because of the number of freaking Timberwolves we're surrounded by. But I think I'll be able to make it down with a good amount of health, which I'm quite happy about, if I can be completely honest with you. Can I be completely honest with you? Is that okay? Can I share my hopes, fears, and dreams? Is that okay? Am I making it weird? Okay, I'll stop. So, 31 minutes left on this. I'll just pass time. I don't have as much reason to be concerned about calories at this point. I spent 30, of the last 45 minutes of gameplay, closely managing calorie burn. So now I'm, needing to relax from that mentality a little bit. It takes a lot. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drop this on the ground because now I think would be time to make some water. So yeah, what I could do here is going to take 42 minutes to make, that much unsafe water. So what I'll do is we'll pass time until that's ready. We'll take the non-potable water. And this should purify some of it, not all of it. And I'll probably have to use another one there. I can probably just click this button. Yeah. So that took care of all of it. And now I have potable water. How about that? Still have an hour and 53 minutes left on the fire. I'll pass the time. It's fine. I'll eat that, but I'm not going to be able to eat much of it, so most is just going to get set right back down there. And then there's this wolf meat, which I will plop on the fire. It's going to take the same amount of time. Don't have a lot of time left here, but I do have more books that I can add. And so I might be able to finagle some more water out of this fire before we're done. Yeah, so now I have more food than I need, which is great. Now, this is not my cooking pot. This cooking pot was already here, which is pretty great, so I don't have to actually take this with me. Pass time. Non-potable water, and we still have 42 minutes on the fire, so what I'm going to do is make a little bit more that way, and that'll be perfect. Pass time until ready. Let's take that non-potable water. And I do want to make sure that I drop all the meat that I'm carrying. It's not necessary to have it with me right now. And let's move through these water purification tablets. Might be able to use one more of them after this. Yep, this will be the last one now. Because it's 0.26 gallons for each one, so using 4 would be a little bit more than a full gallon, and I had a little bit less than a full gallon, so that is going to be the last one. Yeah, perfect. Now, I honestly have more water than I need, but it's nice to go from where we were at the beginning of the last episode to where we are now. It's quite a difference. God, I freaked out. The combination of this shape on the ground just now when I looked up there and this shape in the corner, which is not a very common shape in the long dark, I'm like, wait, is there something in here with me? Man. All right, so let's sleep for, I'm going to say 5, but we'll get 4 hours. Always good to put a little bit of extra time in, even if you know you're not going to get more than that. You can always read, at least on certain difficulties, at this level that we're playing on Interloper as well, I think, you can look at the exhaustion meter and kind of judge, okay, how many hours is that? And then choose how long you're going to sleep more precisely. Or you can just be lazy about it and just maximize the meter every time and you're fine. So, okay, so It does seem like we have a bit of a storm again, which is freaking funny. I can afford to pass time for longer chunks of time now, though, which is nice. So I'm just going to wait for the storm to pass. Oh, there it goes. Nope, just kidding. It just turned into a full blizzard. So that was the sound of the normal wind gusts dying down and the full blizzard sound effects coming into place. Maybe now the quiet... I didn't check the... It was a long patch list, so I didn't check the full list of notes just yet. You know, I haven't, like, combed over it to really see what all the minor things were. I was really curious about the community's reaction, and I was happy to see that it was positive. But maybe they finally fixed the kind of quiet blizzards issue that they've had to take a few stabs at. Hopefully that's the case. All right, so I don't need to drink any water. I just did that. I guess I'll just eat some more wolf meat from our dead friend. Drink some water. And then I will sleep for a couple of hours. And hopefully this blizzard won't last quite as long as the last one, because that was a little bit stupid. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. It was a lot stupid. Pass some more time. Pass some more time. Because now I don't have to worry about calories as much. Yeah, so you can tell from time of day that it's pretty bright in here. You can tell from, I guess the other way around, you can tell from how bright it is, like what time of day it is, but it's not, the weather's actually not nice outside. Which is weird in a way. It almost makes me feel like, shouldn't it be dimmer in here? When there's, like, when the weather's this awful. Kind of breaks my expectations a little bit. Just waiting for this blizzard to pass. Deja vu, but we don't have any timberwolves to worry about this time at least. So, I mean, I will count my blessings. Oh. Blizzard's gone, kind of. Blizzard's gone, but it's still really windy outside. Okay. So, let me sleep for an hour. It's going to be the end of the day when I make it down there, but that's okay. I kind of know where to go. I just need to make sure that I top off my calories in my food before I go. And I'll be fine. All right, so that was not a full steak, but honestly, that's fine. I'll take it. Also, there's that book on the ground there, which I didn't note before. Okay, so let's drop that. Drink some water, and then I'm honestly going to leave a lot of this water behind. As much as it hurts my soul to leave potable water behind, it's not necessary. And then I think, yeah, it's going to be the books that I drop. Okay, so I might be able to grab a little bit more of the water.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
That's because you can't. There we go. That's much better, because it's like right at the halfway mark. Okay, finally. Almost 15 minutes into the episode. Let me quickly look around. I don't see any timberwolves nearby. This is a golden opportunity, and I am going to take it. And I do want to experiment when I get to the bottom here. I do want to experiment with this little spot right here. Does it let you? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Fun fact, Legion. My plan was going to work. It is possible to finagle your way up to the top of that little point. You have to shimmy a little bit, go back and forth. Which uses the same kind of climbing mechanic that you have to use when you're on the edge of a rock sometimes. Like, you can snag the edge of a polygon to make it down a particular path. I'm very careful. I'm being very mindful of the fact that there could be a death wall, like, right to my right. And normally death walls are kind of down cliffs a little bit, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be a little bit paranoid in the name of safety and preserving the run. Yeah, see, this is actually a little bit a little bit stressful for that very reason. Okay. There we go. Oh, this feels good. I'm looking at that, like, log that's fallen on the ground there to the bottom right. And I know exactly what that is and where it is. I've gotten such a better sense, thanks to the Against All Challenges meta series earlier this year, of like what is going on in the bottom of this zone than I used to have. It's one of the reasons I did the meta series to begin with, just to kind of get my feet wet with the game. And I do not regret it in the slightest. Okay. Now, the one thing I'm less sure of, now that I've projected so much confidence to all of you, one thing I'm less sure of is where exactly the wildlife in the bottom portion of the zone likes to hang out. I don't think there are any Timberwolf packs up here. I think the Timberwolves on the lower portion of the zone tend to congregate around the cannery. But I don't know that for sure. I definitely don't know that for sure. So for now, we're just going to start visiting. That's our first stop right there. We're going to start visiting locations that could yield supplies, while keeping an eye out for any furry woodland friends that would seek to end my run prematurely. Although, at this point, let's be honest, wouldn't really be a premature end of the run. I'm going to keep playing. I'm having a good time. But this is the longest Against All Odds series I have ever done. And it's certainly approaching, perhaps, my personal record for the length of a run in the Long Dark, which is great. I don't remember, because it would have been a long time, but I think I've had like a 200-day run, but it was a long time ago. This is certainly the longest run on these types of settings that I've ever done, which is a lot of fun. Okay, so there's some salt there. I think I see some cooking oil there. You know what? Yeah, I'm just going to get the storm lantern out so I can actually see in here. All right, there's an old bedroll. God, I love this rim grill here. It's a very distinct cooking spot in the game. Wait, what was in here? Oh yeah, the warrant running shoes that I really don't need. Oh, carrot. And a Summit soda. Hey. Revolver cartridges. A ruined potato. Oh, that makes me sad. But I might still be able to cook it. We'll see. Because I've got cooking 5, which makes me impervious to ruined food. So if I can cook it, I will do so. I'll test that in just a moment. For now, I just want to make sure that I've grabbed everything I can in here. Anything hiding in corners? Anything hiding behind there? No. What about these corners? Anything in that crate? No. Thankfully, there's a lot in here that can be broken up for wood, so I can test that pretty quickly. I didn't need to use my axe for that, but it's okay. All right, so let's go ahead and light the rim grill. We will use the wood matches. Oh my god, it's so good to be down here, because like I know where I'm going next. Like I will have to be mindful of like the bear, for example. Yeah, so there's the potato. And I know that. Cooked potato. 50%. Okay. Interesting. Anything I can do? I could heat some teas, but that's it. I could probably, if I kept this fire going with some of the sticks I have on me, I might be able to make some more medicinal teas real quick. So yeah, let's go ahead and add a little bit more fuel and see what I can do. I'm going to have to prepare some though, because I haven't... Oh, I've prepared birch bark. I did not know that. For now, let's go ahead and just prepare... Actually, no. We're going to go ahead and do the birch bark tea, because I want to make sure I fully recover my health after the shenaniganry of the last few episodes. So let's cook that prepared birch bark right there. And that's going to be done in 6 minutes. We still have 48 minutes on the fire.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
I'll drink that in a moment. I still have this Summit soda, which is really nice. Got more cooking oil. Let's see, how much time? 40 minutes? Okay. Let's just prepare one reishi tea. Just one. That's all I need. Perfect. All right, now what I shall do is consume the birch bark tea, get some calories, get some life back, and now I will be able to sleep for a bit here, which I'm definitely going to do. Let's pick the skillet back up. Would hate to leave that behind by mistake. We are plenty warm in here, thankfully, so let's now sleep for about 4 hours. We might get an aurora. We haven't had one in a bit. I wouldn't be hugely surprised. Actually, that's not true. We had the aurora that tweaked out that wolf. God, that was strange. All right, so I have that potato. 313 calories for that potato. And my health is mostly recovered thanks to that birch bark tea. So I feel a little bit better after forgetting the birch bark earlier in the previous episode, right after I mentioned it, which was freaking funny. But
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
that's because, yeah, you're kind of approaching your limit, aren't you? Sticks, primarily. But also some clothing. Hang on. Yeah, we don't need to be carrying that around. Yeah, honestly, I think what I'm going to do here is, since I have the calories to make it through, I'm going to pass time for like 4 hours. And then sleep. So that we can wake up at the beginning of the day. Because there's no sense going out at night, especially when I'm not sure where the predators are. And I've been waiting so long to get down here. There's no sense taking that kind of risk. Let's drink the Summit soda. That's going to help in both meters there. And also, I'll go ahead and eat the cooked potato while I'm looking at it. And then drink some water, which will reduce my encumbrance. Now I'm going to sleep for, I'll say 3 hours. I'll get 2 and change. And the sun is beginning to rise. Let's pass time for 1 more hour. Weather sounds very calm. It's gonna be cold. Hang on. Almost just tore up a curtain there. I was pointing at the wrong thing. Yeah, it's gonna be cold. Unfortunately. That is inescapable. So what I'm gonna do here is step outside. And I'm going to put the lantern away, actually. Yeah, I might go back inside one more time, like, and wait a bit, because not only is it cold, but it's still pretty dark. All right, I'm going to do a quick cattail check, because I can. I just need to be mindful of the fact that this ice is not going to be super sturdy, so I'm not just going to walk right across it in a cavalier way. Because this is... I think this is a spot. First of all, I think there are timber wolves near here, so I need to be careful. But I think I'm very close to a spot where I fell in during Escape the Darkwalker. So I'm trying to kind of maintain a radius. I'm like keeping myself on a leash back to that house, so to speak. I just have an imaginary tether connected to my neck. I'm just not going to let myself wander too far, but I want to check for cattails. I just want to see if I can spot them even, not even necessarily go pick them yet. Okay.
My fingers feel numb.
Not seeing any in this area. But I know there are some a little bit farther down. If I walk that direction, there are some fishing cabins. And there should be some there. So let's go back inside before I lose health in completely unnecessary fashion. There we go. Hypothermia risk. Let's get in the bed. Sleep for an hour. Okay. It's also good to know I had that carrot to chow down on for food, but I still have teas as well. And I will soon have cattails. And there's a lot to search out this way. So, oh, thank you, Bleak Inlet. I appreciate this so much. It's real nice of you, like, to wait until, like, the moment that I'm in this area of the zone and excited to be here. So now I'm just going to eat this carrot so that I have a calorie store. And I'm going to pass time for like 3 hours because the zone is wasting my time. Man. Blizzards have been pretty intense for the past little while. Still storming. That's less than ideal. Okay, well, at least my encumbrance is going down a bit, but I still hear that storm. Wow. This is really rude. This is really, really rude. Okay, soundtrack, I love you. Sasha, you're amazing. Like, we're so grateful for you as a composer, but that's not good timing because I'm trying to listen for the blizzard noises, and I don't need, like, super loud musical cues coming in and drowning out the sound of the wind in the background and making it unclear that, in fact, the blizzard is still going outside and I can't go anywhere. Love that. All right, let's pass time. Come on, Oh my god. And there goes the day. The entire day's gone. The entire freaking day is gone. Oh, man. All right. Let's drink this cup of coffee, which will honestly not be good for energy at this point. But I needed the caloric boost a little bit. Yeah, and it's still miserable out here. But at least I have visibility. And my clothes won't be as damaged by wind patterns, by winds that kind of look like this. So let me very tentatively make my way down towards the next cabins. Knowing full well that I have run into timber wolves in these hilltops in the past. Amongst these hilltops. It's happened. It happened actually during an aurora. And again, Saw Odds Season 6, as I recall. All right, that is a deer. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk straight towards that deer. Because for me, that deer represents a safety zone. You know? Talked about this before. It's not a guarantee, and as a matter of fact, the last time I talked about it, in association with Timberwolves, I was immediately proven wrong, so maybe I should be a little bit more cautious. That was in Blackrock, in this same run. Not too long ago, in fact. A Timberwolf showed up and attacked a deer where I was talking about how, okay, well, look, there's a deer here, so it might be safe. Instant Timberwolf. Okay. And there they are, over there. All right, so they're across the pond. I need to kind of hug this outer area, which is kind of what I thought, but I was also kind of hoping to make my way down to that pond. Check for more cattails. So that's unfortunate. There is also a bear directly ahead of me. There's a cave in this rock facing to the left. I don't exactly remember how far. We might have a pretty good idea once we kind of crest this hilltop. Yeah, I don't see it Hi. You're terrifying. Okay, yeah. I'm going to stay over on this side of things. And if I have to, I'll run back to the cabin, but I'm starting to run low on calories. I have drinks, but there's so much stuff in the immediate vicinity that would be more beneficial to me than just drinks. You know? So much stuff. Okay, there's a bridge. And I know there's a bear in this area, so I don't want to... Alright, so the fishing huts, I think, are down below that bridge.
Gold? 'Cause I really do.
Yes, you did, Jennifer. You have said that once or thrice. It has, in fact, come up. Matter of fact, you've asked that question multiple times. You haven't just said it like you've also implied it, and you've asked that very question multiple times. And just in case you're wondering, in case it's useful social feedback for you. Maybe it's not. You know, I would hate to presume, but okay. I think the bear is actually further past this road, to tell you the truth. I think the bear is farther down here. Okay, so now we have a...
God, yeah. Freezing.
We're in a bit of a pickle because... Okay, there's a backpack. That's nice. But I can't stay out here too long. I'm going to cross this bridge and then head down that way, while keeping an eye on that bank down there. Yeah, the bear's further down this way. I forgot this bridge was here. I have the lay of the land, everybody. I know where I'm going. Not necessarily. Okay, I don't want to be too cavalier as I move down this ledge. But I want to stay close to the water here because I feel like the Timberwolves are more out in the hills to my left and at my back. And that, I mean, you know that, like, a predator makes you nervous. God, when they add the cougar, just imagine my anxiety levels at that point. You know that a predator is making you nervous when you'd rather deal with a bear. You'd rather face down a bear, wherever the bear may be. All right, so the bear must be farther that way because I haven't seen them yet. But we are approaching the fishing huts for sure, and also approaching some cattails for sure. Because there are some, I think, down there. And also, there's a broken lighthouse not too far from where we are now, which is nice. Yeah, there's some cattails in those thickets over there. I'm almost positive. It's just that's very close to the bear. And I don't see the bear at the moment. And the bear's cave is also right over there. All right, so you can see a pretty nice Bleak Inlet sunset in the distance back there. We can just take a moment to enjoy it. It's a little bit cold. I got to get inside. All right, I actually think I see some cattails right now. So there might be some cattails just in this general area. Also, I see some coal. So I'm going to dare to bleed off a little bit more life here. Not literally bleed, but you know what I mean. Just to see if I can spot cattails, even if I don't pick them right away. All right, so a couple of pieces of coal, reclaimed wood. I knew these would be burned out, by the way, but not all of them are burned out, so it's okay. Not too bad. Not too bad. And there's the broken lighthouse, which we will visit sooner than later. All right, hang on. Maybe cattails back here. I think this is where they actually are. Could be wrong, though. Yep, I see some. I see two. I'm going to be somewhat careful of thin ice, because I don't trust some of these medium-sized ponds. But I think I'm okay.
Feels like night is coming.
think I just heard a loon that sounded a bit like a wolf, and my anxiety spiked. Okay, let's get back inside. I don't need to give up more health than this. We've been in a pretty good place health-wise for the past little while, and also we're at a good stopping point, so there's that too. I'm going to step inside here and wrap this episode up. In the next one, we will check out that broken lighthouse. We'll check out the area around here to kind of see what might be going on. You need a minute, Jennifer? You good? You good to go? Cool. We'll check out the area around here to kind of see whether there might be more cattails and other supplies in general. And then we'll visit the cannery just to kind of see what we might be able to snag. I don't know that I'm going to wait to actually get inside the cannery. If I get lucky while I'm there, then I'll do it. But once I've kind of gotten what I need out of the cannery, I'm going to get out of the zone as soon as I can. I'm going to go to Forlorn Muskeg, and I know exactly which way to go. I might have to kind of feel my way in that direction a little bit, but my sense of direction... You're fine. You've got some in your pack. My sense of direction in this zone is much better than it was before, aside from the fact that I'm not quite sure where all the timber wolves are going to be, so we're going to have to find out as we go. But I do have some knowledge from the last time that I was here that I'll try to enact and keep in mind as I approach the cannery, so we don't have a repeat of Season 6's ending. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. If you're not new here, look for the join button for access to channel-unique emotes, badges, and other perks. New episodes drop every day but Wednesday at 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, and comments are always welcome, so leave your thoughts below, and I'll see you next time. You're damn right I let that musical cue finish.